Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. So, yeah, so it's snowing. And I didn't write my name in the snow, but I made the smiley face. So, hopefully you can appreciate that. I like it when it snows. Makes it really quiet. Feeling pretty blessed today. I was needing to make a little bit of money, and so I decided to sell my car. And within 2 days on Facebook Marketplace, it sold, and I got my asking price. And I'm really confident that it was a good car. So the people, the young family that bought it, they've got a good deal on a car that's going to last them a long time. And it was another opportunity for me to provide things as a service in my ministry. My ministry is my life. My ministry is what I do in my way of trying to help other people. And if we're always trying to help other people, not that we have to help other people, but or that we want to help other people, but treating them the way you want to be treated. And that's really a foundation of I think what all religious um, pathways are trying to show us is that if I want to be treated equitably, then I should treat other people that way. And I don't want to be spending my money on a car that somebody else might know that it's going to break down. I wouldn't hesitate to let my daughter drive that car that I just sold, to across the country in the wintertime. It's a good car. And I was also able to talk with him for a few minutes about my ministry. And, I told him, I'm like, this isn't a ministry where I stand up in front of people and I yell at them and tell them how bad they are and and demand 10% of your money every month or you're going to hell, right? Not like that. Not like that. Because you know what? My first goal is for you to be succeeding, for you to be thriving in your life, for you to be able to provide for your family and for the people who depend on you, right? I mean, that's what's really, really important, for you to feel secure. And when you feel secure and you are taken care of, where you know that, you've got a home and you've got some food and you've got water and you've got access to a space that you feel secure in, right? There's a lot of growth that happens from that kind of space. And so that's what I want for you. And if that means that you can never give me a dime, so be it. I don't care. I'm already taken care of. I already know that I don't need anything. I mean, right now I'm out in the snow. I'm living in the snow, right? Well, I mean, I have a house to retreat to, but right now I'm alive and I'm living out in the snow. And right now is like a lot of my right now moments. I mean, I'm always just living, and if I'm always just living, and I'm always just capable of finding the things I need to have right now, well, that means that the next right now moments, there's a pretty good chance that that's going to be the same case for me, because it has been for 49 years so far. So, but that's where that right now moment is. And that right now moment is how I feel we should tithe. And I'm not going to give 10% of my money to somebody somewhere else so they can stack it away in a bank account when there's people that are struggling and they don't have a way out of the snow, right? Right now, there are people that need shelter, that don't have stipulations on it saying you can't do this, you can't do that. It's like, you know what? You do whatever you want unless you're going to harm somebody else. And if you're going to harm somebody else, we're going to do whatever we need to do to make sure you're not going to do that again. So you better be accountable or be responsible, because you're going to be held accountable, right? That's how life should be. Not, well, what if, oh my gosh, what if something happens? No. You know what? What if? What if? What if? What if? There's a whole bunch of things to be what ifing about. The reality is, how many what ifs never actually came true, right? How many what ifs have just been a figment of somebody's imagination based in fear or assumptions or that's what it is. It's somebody doesn't they're afraid, and so they want to try to control so many things, right? We have to realize that we can only control me. Well, I can only control me. You could try, but not many people have found that to be um, a worthy investment of their time. So, but I am not going to come and force you to do stuff. And if I don't have the right to come and force you to do things, I don't think I have the right to hire somebody else to come over and force you to do things, right? Because that would be like acting like we own you, right? If I can control you, I can take your money, I can take your things, I can limit your rights, I can throw you in a cage. Those are all things that are sounding kind of psychopathic. Let's stop supporting that, because just because you're not willing to do it, if you're willing to hire somebody else to do it, that's still not cool. That's not cool. That's part of that's like there's one major rule in the religion that I promote, which is free will, right? And because we have free will, and my ministry is everybody I talk to, my actions, the way I live my life, the way I'm growing onions right out here in the desert. And there's a apple tree that's going to be growing up right there. I trimmed it back so that way I can really work on its root structure, its foundations, right? And these foundations is where we find health, happiness, and peace and abundance, and almost the ability of falling on my butt. And we got a bunch of goldfish in here. That little piece of that's not goldfish, but you have to just trust me on that one for today. Anyway, yeah. So he got home. The guy that bought the car, and he sent me a text, and he's really young family. I mean, their son was probably 1 year old, maybe, and he liked the message, because and most everybody I talk with, unless they're just really the offended crowd, and it's one thing you say goes against their belief or their perspective or how they perceived how you were saying it, and then they're offended. Those are the people that, well, I'm sorry, that's on you. That's on you, man. So, but most everybody, they can agree that free will is a foundation of a unifying belief, recognizing that I own me and you own you. And if I have a good idea, or if you have a good idea, and we use the power of the spoken word to share that idea with somebody else, right? We can voluntarily choose to support that good idea, right? And that good idea, I don't care where it comes from. I mean, like when I enter into a debate, I'm not looking to find out if I'm right. I'm looking to find out what's right. And so I'll express my idea the best way I know how. I'll articulate it in the most simple, um, understandable terms that I know how to express it in, right? And then, right, I'm not going to get mad and leave because you want to try to tell me about your idea, right? I've been retired now for 9 years, so I can sit there and talk for a while if we need to figure out something if it's important. I'm not going to argue with you if you think the red team or the blue team's better, but I think that if we talk about real things, real topics, how do we solve the problems that we find in our communities, in our environment? Why are so many people trying to kill themselves every day? I mean, suicide is the number one killer, right? And people are doing it in all sorts of creative ways. They're some people are, they're just, making it quick and dirty job that somebody else, maybe your family, has to clean up, right? Or they take a bunch of pills and they just fall asleep for the last time, or they hang themselves, or they drink themselves into a stupor every night, or they're taking street drugs, they're holding stress. There's so many ways that people are killing themselves daily, and it's because they're trying to escape the reality that they live in. Well, this reality that we live in has been shaped by those that came before us, right? And it's been perpetuated because, well, gosh, you got sometimes you got generational ownership of the carpet store, right? Everybody in this family works in the carpet store, mister. And if you don't want to work in this carpet store, well, then you're out of here. You go do whatever you're going to do, but you're disowned, right? How many times does the father like the son, like the grandson, and carried on generationally? Well, that's one way to do it. That is one way to do it. But I don't think it's the only way, right? And there's some of my hugelkultur mound. These are features to hold on to all this snow into the spring and summer. Make it more productive. Less fires and floods and drought and famine. Break out the snowboard here pretty soon. Get Monty dragging me around on that. That'd be fun. Anyway, there's another way of doing things, and sometimes it's way better than what has been done in the past. Because in the past, it has promoted what really feels like debt slavery to exist. Humans are the only species on the planet that pay somebody somewhere else so that they can have shelter and they can have food and they can have water and their poopy goes away and their trash goes away and and somebody else goes to Africa and harvests that exotic hardwood for the flooring in the bathroom, right? We've stepped into such level of dependency that slaves are now bound by debt instead of chains. You have people who have to show up every day. When the bell rings, you better be there, or you lose everything that you find in your life that makes you comfortable. And don't want to become homeless because the stigma associated to not owning a home, right? Oh, as long as you have money to rent, though, that's fine. But if you are building something where you rent, it's going to remove your dependency on renting. Well, that's against the rules, right? I mean, renting, that should be a temporary deal, really. I mean, temporary. Like 6 months. 6 months, you can build a tiny house. Easy. I built a real house in a year, right? And I only had a little bit of help from my friends. So there's options out here. I mean, like those resources right there. I mean, those are pallets that I just stood on end. But I mean, right there, that's a whole like half a truck full of wood, and those are all for free. And if I broke them down and I just nailed them together or screwed them together in a different way, they would almost look like a place I could sleep in, right? And if I built another room, it would be like a place that I could, I don't know, sit down in and call it a living room, right? Or another place that could be a bathroom. And or there's just so many ways that we can reduce the cost associated to life, right? And so my purpose of this was about tithing and what tithing actually means to me. And tithing means to me not giving 10% of your income to a church entity that's going to bank it away so someday, somewhere, somebody's going to go save the world on the other side of the planet. No. I want your tithing, and I feel that tithing is most beneficial when you see somebody in need of your help, something that you can do it. Just do it. Without expectation of any kind of return. You see somebody who really needs that $20 so they can get a meal and they can get a shower, or they can $20 can do a lot for somebody who doesn't have anything. And really, I mean, you know, it's a lunch, a lunch date, or it's not even a tank of gas. It's something though that somebody sees a person in need, and you give them $1, you give them a couple of quarters out of your pocket. You know, we have to look at that's really just not enough. And you know, yes, there are some people that are going to abuse that, but we have to recognize that a lot of people, they just need a little help. They need a little help. They're either stressed out, or they're depressed, or they've had trauma. They just don't know how to function in this world, right? And if you don't know how to function in this world, it can be a hard place to live. And if you struggle in that, it can be a very hard place to live, right? There's a lot of people that are without shelter. And there's landfills that are filling up with resources that could be building the shelter. And there's land outside of cities that's available for people to build little communities of their friends and family. There's ways that we can be living that that give us a much better result of how we're going to experience life. And that's what Free Will Ministry is about. And so if you hit # Free Will Ministry _ AAH, you can kind of bump into some of my work and what I've been promoting. Another one is the Mad Monk, # Mad MADD MONK _ AAH. The AAH is the right? The peace, the calm, the I want to live. I want to wake up in the morning. Life is happening for me, not to me, right? Because if I can recognize the benefit of everything that happens in my life, life becomes a blessing, right? A blessing. You get to wake up every day. And when you see the people that you love in your life, you're happy to see them because you recognize how much a gift of life we are in, right? We have a lot of people right now that are stressed out. They're sad. They're anxious. They're struggling. So my my pleading, I guess, to you is in these times, give to the people in need. not these corporations, incorporated churches that are $1 million buildings, but yet they're only open a few hours a week, right? Those are not places of God. Those are places of control. God gives us free will. And as long as we don't hurt somebody else, we should be able to just live. I think I'm getting a little cold. I'm making up some extra words. So anyway, I guess that's a long enough video anyway. So thank you for watching. If you like this content, look right up over there for the subscribe. Where's it at? Where's it at? It's going to be right there. And right here will be the next video that YouTube thinks is good for you. Thanks.